Welcome to Proxima Nexus, the intelligent backend platform that powers Proxima SFA. In this video, we'll take you through the complete workflow, from organization registration to user management, master data configuration, inventory setup, planning, transaction management, and reporting. Let's get started. We'll begin by creating a new organization. Enter your company name. Select your country and preferred language. In this case, we'll choose English in India. Next, provide the currency type, company phone number, website, email address, and business address. Now, set up your super administrator credentials. This account will have full access to your organization. You can define a custom user code if needed, or keep the system-generated one. Please note that once created, it cannot be changed. Enter the username and password for the super admin account. If you'd like to associate a different primary email ID, you can add it here before submission. After submitting, an OTP will be sent to your registered email address. Enter the OTP to verify your account and confirm the password. Now log in using the new credentials. Perfect. Login successful. You can now access your dashboard, explore all modules, and start managing your organization with Proxima Nexus. Now let's set up the environment. First, navigate to the core system module. Here you can view the users we've already created. Next, let's create roles for these users. I'll start by adding a new role for our field executives. The parent role is set to Entity Admin, and the license type is Proxima SFA for field users and Proxima Nexus for back-office users. I'll select Proxima SFA for this role and add a short description. In the same way, you can create as many roles as needed for your organization. Now let's move on to user creation. I'm creating a new field user. You can modify the user code if required, or keep the default. Enter the field executive's name, phone number, and update the profile picture if needed. Once done, the user is successfully created. Let's add another field user and then create a back office user as well. Perfect. Both users are created successfully. Now let's create a new role for our report users in Proxima Nexus. I'll start by adding a new role, and just like this, you can create additional roles for master data management, operations, or any other area as needed. Next, I'll assign this report user role to John Roy. Now let's move on to permission settings. Note that entity admin users come with fixed permissions and cannot be modified. So first, select the report user role, and then choose the modules you want to grant access to. In this case, we'll provide permissions only for reports and analysis. For the selected module, I'll assign permissions such as view, add, export, and delete. Once configured, click Save and Close. Next, we'll add a few more permissions under the same role. For example, field user performance, field receipt report, customer transaction, executive transaction, and operation summary. Each of these modules will have the appropriate permissions assigned for the report user role. Now let's log in using John Roy's credentials to verify. As you can see, only the reports and analysis modules assigned to this role are visible to him. Everything looks perfect. Now let's switch back to the entity admin account. Now let's move on to the master data configuration. Here you'll find all your key master data sections, including customers, accounts, products, business KPIs, and other related configurations. We'll go through each of these step by step. Let's start with lookups. A lookup is essentially a reference list used to populate drop-downs or predefined fields across various master data modules. These lookups help maintain consistency and accuracy in your data. Since there are no customers yet, let's go ahead and create a new customer. Enter the account number and the outlet name, for example, Sri Venkateshwara Mart. Next, provide the owner's name, Ravishankar in this case. Set the account type as customer, and then enter the business registration number and tax ID. This could be your GST number or Aadhaar number. Add the website, PIN codes, landmark, and address details. Now move to the contact information section. Specify the primary contact person, their phone number, mobile number, and if needed, alternate and WhatsApp numbers. These fields are optional, so you can fill them in as required. You can also add the email address of the contact. Next, define the business timings, for example, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and select the business days and preferred delivery days. For financial parameters, enter the investment value, 5,000 rupees, credit limit, 5,000 rupees, and set the activation date as today. Now let's configure the trade channel. When we open the trade channel field, you'll notice reference values like cinema and school. These are fetched directly from the lookup table. You can modify these values as per your business needs. Here I'll select cinema as the trade channel and choose cinema lobby as the sub-trade channel. You can also filter and choose from available sub-channels here. Next, choose the delivery plan. Specify the village, town, city, region, for example, South India, state, and country, India. Now let's look at segments. If you search for segment, you'll see it refers to your customer classification, such as bronze, silver, or diamond. You can easily add new segments if required. For this example, we'll select bronze. Then set the business unit as fashion and the town class as metro. If you already have latitude and longitude data, you can enter it here or update it later. Define the business type extension. Select the payment cycle as 30 days and specify whether the account should be order blocked. When an account is blocked, sales executives cannot place or edit orders for that customer. Once all the details are filled in, click Save and Close. Your customer record is now successfully created in the system. Now we can see the data we've already added in the customer master for a single record. This is the manual process for adding customers. If you need to update the location or other details, simply open the record. You'll see all the verified information, and you can also add contact details. For example, let's add a contact person, Arjun Sharma. Enter the phone number, alternate number if available, contact email and address, then click Save and Close. Now you'll see that the contact person has been successfully added for this outlet. Next, if the customer location is missing, you can place it in the correct spot on the map and update the location. This step is mandatory as accurate location data is crucial for route mapping. Once saved, the system will update the latitude and longitude. This location update ensures the customer is visible in the routing plan. Additionally, the customer profile can be updated later through the mobile app. All other information remains accessible here in the system for reference. Okay, so far we saw that manually adding the customer and the added information are here, and all these details we can see over here, right? The next step is, by adding one customer at a time, it becomes a time-consuming process. So we can go for importing. What you need to do is download this template from here and then check what changes we need to make. You can download it and open it. You'll see the fields like account number, account name, business registration number, tax identification number, etc. All these fields are the same as what we saw in the form. The drop-down values like trade channel, sub-trade channel, etc. come from the lookup section. For example, if you already have a field name called account type, then go to lookup, account type, and check the lookup code. If the customer is customer, then its lookup code might be HTTPL. You can add that lookup code in the corresponding column in your import file. Similarly, for payment cycle, you can refer to the lookup to get the code for 30 days from billing. Let's go one by one. Customer name equals account name, outlet name. Business registration number equals corresponding field tax identification. Number equals corresponding field owner name, contact person, and all contact details follow the same pattern. Latitude and longitude. If you have them, you can add them. Otherwise, ignore them. Business days and delivery days are checkbox type fields. Credit limit and deposit amount fields correspond to their respective columns. Account type. For example, customer payment cycle, 30 days from billing, delivery plan. You can see codes like 304 or 305. Country, for example, India, code 075. State and region, for example, South India. Segment, bronze or silver. Business unit, for example, fashion. Town class, metro. Trade channel, e.g., cinema, code 190. Business type extension, 237 or 238. Once all these details are filled, you can import the file, browse and upload it. The system will identify the data automatically. After confirming, click Import. Once imported successfully, you can view all customer data in the list. If some outlets don't have location data, you can use the AI-powered update option to fill those automatically. Select the missing ones and click Update Selected. It will process and mark them on the map based on their address. Now all customers are visible, properly updated, and ready for route planning. Now that we have added the customers, let's move on to adding products. Navigate to the product section. Since there are no products yet, click Add. Before adding a product, it's important to understand the fields. Product code can be modified or left as default. Product name, category, and brand. These come from the lookup table, so you can select or add values based on your convenience. Currently, under product category, we have still mixed product. If needed, you can add more categories. For example, I'll add bakery and biscuit and save it. Now this new category is available when adding a product. Enter the product name and select the category and brand. Other fields include flavor pack. For example, 25 grams pack. Type trademark base, UOM, used to identify the base price. The denominator represents the number of units contained in each case or box. The base price refers to the purchasing or manufacturing cost of the product. The trade price is the standard selling price to retailers. This value can later be customized for individual customers if specific pricing is required at the retailer level. The default stock indicates the minimum quantity that should be maintained at the customer's location. This too can be adjusted later for each customer based on their specific stock requirements. Currently, no crate is associated with the product, so let's create one. Add a new crate. The crate details include the following information: crate code and crate name help in identifying each crate uniquely. Crate type specifies the category or usage type of the crate. Crate capacity indicates the maximum number of items that can be stored in the crate. Crate available status shows whether the crate is currently in use or available. Crate condition helps track the physical state of the crate, such as new, good, or damaged. Crate barcode is used for quick scanning and tracking purposes. And finally, crate weight represents the weight of the crate itself. Once the crate is created, associate it with the product. In this example, we link the chocolate bar product to the newly created crate. Now the product is successfully added and ready for inventory and distribution. Now that we've added the product manually, we can see the information for the sample record we created. However, adding products one by one can be time-consuming, so let's move on to the import process. To import multiple products, first download the template. In the template, you'll find some sample data that shows the structure and field names. You can fill in or modify this sheet before uploading. Here's what each column represents. Product name, denominator, MRP, the maximum retail price of the product, base price, trade price, default stock, the stock that should be maintained at the customer side, for example, 10 boxes or cases, tax percentage, for example, 8%. Brand corresponds to a lookup code from the master data. For example, if the lookup code for a brand is HTPL13, you can use that value or modify it if it's not relevant. Pack size, for example, 65 grams. Flavor, category, trademark, and UOM, where UOM indicates whether it's measured in case or unit. Once you've filled out the sheet, go back to the import section, click Import Data, browse to select your file, and then upload. The uploaded data will appear on the screen for review. Once confirmed, click Import to finalize. A success message will appear once all products are imported. Now you can see that all the products from the sheet have been added successfully. Currently, these products are not yet associated with any crates. So let's create a new crate and assign it to the corresponding products by providing the crate code and crate name, along with the related product code and product name. With that, the product import and crate association process is complete. Now the next step is to assign the trade price and default stock for each customer. For example, let's take the default trade price and default stock settings. We can set the default stock to maintain 5 cases and 1 unit for all customers. However, for certain customers, we may want to apply custom values. For instance, for a specific outlet, the actual price of a product might be $51.56, but we may decide to sell it to this customer at $60.50. Similarly, we can define the stock to maintain, for example, 10 cases. For another customer, we may want to maintain 8 cases and set a selling price of $65. This way, we can define the default price and stock levels individually for each customer. These represent the default selling configurations, which can later vary based on promotional schemes or territory-based pricing. So, when sales executives place new orders at the counter, the predefined prices and stock configurations will automatically appear for each customer, ensuring consistency and accuracy in the field. Now that we've completed the product creation process, let's move on to managing POSM materials. That is, point-of-sale materials used in our business operations. In this section, we'll add and manage all the POSM items used in field activities or store displays. To begin, enter the POSM material name. If your business manages any point-of-sale materials, you can list them here. Next, choose the scan code type, in this case, QR code. Select the POSM type, which is linked to the lookup master. You can add or modify POSM types in the lookup list, and they will appear here automatically. Specify the manufacturer name and manufacturing date. You can either pick the date from the calendar or type it directly. Then set the measurement of volume, for example, tonnery, and the number of units or items held, for example, 500. Next, fill in the following details: equipment cost and maintenance cost, height in centimeters width, weight in kilogram, for example, 5 kilograms. Warranty period, select a suitable future date condition, for example, new or good if already in use. If you have any supporting images, you can upload photos of the POSM material for reference. After entering all the details, click Save and Close. Now you can see the POSM material information listed in the grid, along with the uploaded image displayed clearly. Let's add a few more POSM materials. And now we've successfully added all the materials. Now let's move on to creating a POSM campaign, which we had skipped earlier during the master data setup. Click on Create New Campaign and start by entering the campaign name. For example, Summer Promotion or Festive Display Drive. Next, set the start date as today and the end date as the last day of this month. Once that's done, click Save. Now let's add the materials linked to this campaign. Select a material from the list, specify the available quantity, say 20 pieces, and choose the UOM as pieces. You can also add multiple materials if required by repeating the same steps. Once everything is set, the campaign is successfully created. This POSM campaign will now be automatically reflected on the field device, allowing users to view and take POSM orders directly from their mobile app. Now let's move on to creating trucks or vehicles that are associated with each depot or factory. To begin, click on Create New Vehicle and enter the vehicle number. For example, your registered truck or van number. Next, choose the vehicle type, such as container, mini truck, or any other category that fits your logistics fleet. In this case, we'll select mini truck. You can also fill in additional details such as the model name and manufacturer. These fields are optional, but it's a good practice to include them if you have the information available. Finally, enter the chassis number and engine number for record keeping and identification. Once done, click Save to create the truck record. Let's quickly add another vehicle to demonstrate. And that's it. With this, we've now completed the master data setup, which includes products, POSM materials, depots, and vehicles. We've now completed most of the master data setup, and there are just a couple of items still pending, such as the KPI targets. We'll come back to those once the remaining configuration setup is done. So let's move on to the system configuration. The first field here is the UPI-ID. This UPI-ID will be used in the invoice QR code, allowing customers to scan and make direct payments. Let's enter a sample UPI-ID for now. Next, we have the order discount rate and tax percentage. For example, the tax rate is 18%, and this configuration ensures the same tax gets applied at the order level whenever discounts are given. Then we have the sales order format. This determines how the order number will appear in the system. For instance, when you create a sales order, the system will automatically generate the order number based on this predefined format. The next section is the sync duration, which controls how frequently the mobile application syncs data. By default, it's set to 1 minute. Below that, we have account type and bank details, which will be displayed on the invoices for payment purposes. You can fill in the bank name, account number, branch, and account holder name here. Once all this information is entered, click Save and Close. That completes the system configuration setup. Now let's configure the organization unit. Click Add New to create a new organization unit. Enter the organization unit name. I'll use a sample name for this example. Set the business start time to 8 a.m. and the end time to 8 p.m. Select the unit type as distributor. Next, fill in details such as the contact person name, district or region, state, office PIN code. If your organization has multiple units, you can create additional ones using the same process. For now, we'll proceed with this single unit setup. Now let's create a depot. Enter the depot name. For this example, I'm using a sample name. Next, select the organization name associated with this depot. Then provide the depot address, city, and state. For instance, Tamil Nadu. You can create additional depots in the same way if needed, and that's it. The depot setup is now complete. Now let's assign the business target KPI. After creating the depots, you'll see that the data has been generated based on the number of depots. Each depot has its own sales KPI target for a specified duration. By default, the target value is set to 50,000, but you can change it to any value, for example, 15,000, depending on your requirements. You can set the monthly target for each depot individually, and this process can be repeated for all depots. The system will automatically generate and maintain the KPI targets for every depot. Now let's assign the executives who will be working at each depot, specifically the field sales executives. From the list of users we created, identify the field sales executives and back office users. For each depot, assign the relevant field sales executives who will serve that location. Next, assign the vehicles that will be operating from each depot. You can assign a vehicle to a depot, and if needed, multiple vehicles can be assigned to the same depot. For example, we can assign 2 vehicles to a single depot to manage operations efficiently. This way, both the executives and vehicles are linked to the depot, ensuring smooth field operations. Now let's create the account group. An account group is a collection of information for customers, defining which customers are eligible for specific products, terms, or sales conditions. For example, we can create an account group for a premium store, specifying which products or offers are applicable. Similarly, we can create a group for a general store. We can also define specialized groups such as must-have products for premium stores or general stores. Focus SKU items. Store survey tasks for both store types and sample products allocations. Additionally, you can create account groups for managing POSM material orders or other campaign-related items for each store type. Once these groups are defined, the system will know which customers fall under which category in the products, surveys, or campaigns applicable to them, and that's how the customer account groups are created. Now let's assign customers to their respective account groups. We'll start with sales products. For the premium store group, the segment is bronze, and we'll assign all relevant customers to this group. Similarly, we assign customers for the general store, using the silver segment for non-premium products. With this, we have the premium store and general store customers assigned for sales products. Next, we move to sample products. For the premium store, we can assign 5 customers for the sample products, and the remaining customers go to the general store. We also assign customers for the must-have group, bronze segment for premium stores, and silver for general stores. For Focus SKU, customers are divided between premium store and general store. Assigning the remaining customers appropriately. Finally, for store survey, customers are assigned based on location. For example, Tamil Nadu customers are assigned to both premium and general store groups as applicable. With this, all customers have now been successfully configured for their respective groups. Now let's create the product group. Start by giving the product group name. For example, we'll create a group for beverages, which includes all types of beverage products. Next, assign the model. In this case, it is for sales products. Similarly, we create another group for snacks, confectionery, and biscuit items, also under sales products. For must-have products, we create a group for daily essentials, such as milk and eggs. We can also create another must-have group for top-selling essentials. Additionally, create a Focus SKU group and a seasonal group such as summer products under sales. Once the product groups are created, we need to map them to the account groups. General store belongs to snacks and confectionery. Premium store belongs to sales products. Must-have groups are assigned to daily essentials or top-selling essentials for the relevant stores. Focus SKU is mapped to the general store, and sample products are assigned to both general and premium stores. Next, assign sample products for each group. For premium beverages, assign the relevant flavors, trademarks, brands, and products. For must-have products, assign daily essentials. For sales products, assign items such as snacks, confectionery, and beverages. For sample products, assign the applicable products for the specific customer groups. After this, the product groups and product mappings are fully configured and ready for use in the system. Now let's create the schemes for pricing and promotions. Before creating the scheme, let's define some assortments. For example, we create an assortment called Energy Drink Assortment and provide a brief description. Next, assign the relevant products to this assortment. For instance, select 3 items from the product list that belong to this group. Once done, the assortment is created. Now we can create the promotion scheme. Let's start with a fixed discount scheme, provide a description, set the start date and time, and define the end date and time. Next, assign the customer role to specify which customers the promotion applies to. For example, retailers or specific account numbers. For the product role, select the relevant assortment or brand associated with this scheme. Then define the promotion condition role. In this case, we'll use order value as the matching type and set the slab, for example, for every 100 items. The promotion condition output is set as a fixed discount, and the output value is 50. This means a discount of 50 is applied based on the total order value. Finally, save and close. The fixed discount scheme is now successfully created and ready to be applied. Next, let's create additional promotion schemes. First, I'll create a scheme with a description and define the customer role based on a specific city. For the product role, I select an assortment group and a specific brand. For the promotion condition, I've set it up based on quantity, with a range between from 5 to 10. The promotion output in this case is a free product. For example, the system will provide a free item, let's say 2 units of a specific product, when the purchase meets the slab criteria. Next, I'll create a percentage discount scheme. Here, the customer role is defined at the South India region level. The product role is set for category and specific products. The condition role is again quantity-based, with a slab of 10 by 5 units, meaning the discount applies for every 5 units purchased. The output role is a percentage discount, set at 15%. Now we have configured 3 promotion schemes: 1 fixed discount, 1 free product, and 1 percentage discount. Now let's configure the approval workflow. We have several types of approvals, and we need to define who will be the approvers for each module. First, for customer onboarding, for premium customers, the approvers are Entity Admin for Level 1 and Report Users for Level 2. Next, for distributor purchase orders, the approver is Report User. For leave approval, the approver is Report User. For expense approval, the approvers are Entity Admin for Level 1 and Report Users for Level 2. For POSM orders, Entity Admin for Level 1 and Report Users for Level 2. We can also create overflow approval workflows for distributor POS, assigning additional approvers if required. For example, Entity Admin for Level 1 and Report Users for Level 2. With this setup, the approval workflow is now fully configured, specifying exactly who approves each type of request. Now that all the configuration is complete, we can create a purchase order request. The PO request is used to purchase items for the warehouse. First, select the organization unit, in this case, Fresh Mart Distributor. Since we have only one, we select it here. The PO number is automatically generated, but you can modify it if needed. You can also add any comments for this order. Next, we define the approval workflow for this PO. Then we add the products we want to purchase, select the items and specify the quantity for each. The system automatically applies the default cases and units based on the product configuration. The price calculation is done automatically, and if there are any manufacturer discounts, you can enter them here. Once all the details are added, click Save and Close. The PO status will now be pending. To approve the PO, the designated entity admin can go to the Workflow Approval, Purchase Order section. The pending requests will appear here, and the admin can approve them. Only after the approval, the PO will move forward in the system. Now let's configure the report user to handle approvals. Before the report user can access approvals, we need to assign the appropriate module permissions, specifically permissions for purchase order under inventory and related approval modules. Go to Role Access. Currently, the user has limited permissions, so we need to add more. Create a new assignment in the inventory module and assign the report user role. Assign permissions, set view and export access. Assign approval permissions for purchase order approval. POSM approval. Customer onboarding approval. Expense approval. Leave approval. Once these permissions are configured, log in with the report user. This user now has the correct access to view, export, and approve requests as required. You can now log in with the report user and go to Inventory. Here you will see the purchase order that was created and is pending approval. View purchase order. Click on the order to see all details, including quantities, products, and other information. Approve the order. Go to the approval section and approve the request. Once approved, the order moves to the next stage. Switch back to another user if required. Initially, you cannot see the items until the purchase order is fully approved. Go to the approval section and approve the request. The purchase order now shows as approved. Next, for stock receipt. After approval, the stock receipt section becomes visible. Here you can receive the material. Receiving material steps. Check ordered quantity versus receiving quantity. Update if there's any mismatch. Enter batch numbers for each product. Enter expiry dates. Select the depot that is receiving the material. Add any free goods included with the delivery and specify their quantity. Add any additional comments if necessary. Once all details are filled, click Save and Close. The items are now successfully received in the system. We are now going to verify and update stock values. Some of the previous values were incorrect, so I updated the purchase order request with the correct values. This includes the total amount and the receiving amount. For each product, we verify the quantity received. Stock Overview. All received quantities are reflected in the Stock Overview section. Product 1026, 50 units received. All stock is now available under Available Stock. You can filter stock by depot or truck. To add stock into the depot, there are two options. The first is through a purchase request, which follows the approval workflow. The second option is manual inventory entry, ideal for your initial inventory setup or when you prefer to bypass the purchase order and approval process. Now let's go through the manual inventory process. Select the product. Enter physical stock quantity. Specify denominator, batch number, and expiry date. Example updates. Product 2132, added stock. Product 2423, added 10 cases. Product 36, updated accordingly. Once completed, the system reflects these quantities in the stock overview, combining previous and newly added stock. We can now see how the stock cases and units are added at the organization level. If you want to view stock per depot, you can check the depot level view. Example, for this depot, you can see the quantity for each product. Product 688 shows 0 because the total quantity added for this depot is 0. Note, both products are in the same depot, so the stock is consolidated accordingly. By truck view, currently stock by truck is not available. Once the route is configured, you will be able to view stock allocated per truck. The next step is to move on to the route plan configuration. Route plan configuration, creating a new route plan. Navigate to Planning Route Planning. Click Create New Route Plan. Enter the route name and a description, then save and close. Planning customers. Ensure all customers have a green location marker location provided. Select the region on the map where you want to add customers to the route plan. In the Agasthiswaram region, 9 customers have been identified. Now, when selecting another region, in the Kalkulam area, 6 more customers are identified. There are no customers found. Adding another region, All these customer identifications are based on the latitude and longitude marked at each customer's location. In the Thovolai region, no customers are identified. Finally, selecting the Villavan code region, 9 customers are identified here as well. Finally, 24 customers are included. Option to ignore any customer if not required for this route. Assigning depot, select the depot that services this area. Example, Marthandam Depot. Specify number of vehicles for this depot. Set service time per customer, total working minutes. Define average vehicle speed. You can add additional depots with similar configuration if needed. Save configuration, optimization, click Start Optimization. Wait for the process to complete. Once completed, view the optimized plan. For the beat route of Vehicle 1 from the Nagercoil Depot, 9 customers are planned. Similarly, for Vehicle 2 from the Marthandam Depot, 15 customers are planned. You can also view the complete list of customers in the grid view. On the map, you can see the customer visit sequence, starting from the depot, covering each customer location, and returning back to the depot. For every customer, you can view details such as outlet in time, out time, and the distance between consecutive outlets. Next, let's assign these beat routes to their respective sales executives and vehicles. Specify the cycle start time, visit frequency, and the number of working days per week. Once done, click Save, and all these beat routes will be ready for use by field executives as part of their customer journey plan. The next step is to create the store survey. First, we create a profile and assign it to the premium account group. We'll call it Store Survey and add a brief description. Now, let's configure the survey layout. This represents the outlet layout of the mapped survey group, similar to the corresponding account group. Start by adding the scene name. Once added, drag the icons to their respective positions and enter the scene name. Next, add the related questions, including the question name, weightage, display sequence on the device, and answer type, such as yes, no, range, or rating. After configuring all questions, proceed to define the possible answers and their respective weightage for each question. It's mandatory to either configure or review the system-added answers. Remember, the total weightage of all questions within a scene must add up to 100, representing 100%. Similarly, the total answer weightage for each individual question should also sum up to 100. Once all configurations are complete, click Save. The survey configuration is now successfully created, and field executives can perform store surveys for the respective customer group. We've completed most of the configurations. Before sending the field executives into the market, let's verify that the schemes we configured are applying correctly. To do this, open the sales order module and create a new order. Select the applicable customer, one that was mapped during the scheme configuration. Let's test each scheme one by one. Choose a scheme and pick a customer that qualifies for it. Then, select the sales executive to whom this order belongs. Next, add the products that fall under the same scheme. Now check the condition matching rule, the criteria under which the scheme should be applied. Enter the respective values accordingly. For example, if you're testing an order level discount scheme, ensure the total order value matches the configured condition for that scheme. After that, click Price Calculation to view the applied schemes and corresponding discounts. Similarly, you can verify each scheme one by one to ensure everything is functioning as configured. For verifying the scheme configuration, it's not mandatory to save the order. However, here I'm saving the order to demonstrate the complete order-taking process from Proxima Nexus. Fill in all the relevant details and click Save. A new order is now created for this outlet, and you can see that the order source is shown as Proxima Nexus back office system. We have created an order for Presale. To confirm the order, currently there is no stock available for the Nagercoil Central Depot. Presale belongs to this depot. If we check the stock overview, Marthendam Depot has stock, but Nagercoil Central does not. We need to add stock manually. We go to Manual Inventory, select the inventory type. Here I'm choosing physical stock. Then select the org unit. The corresponding depot associated with that org unit will be displayed automatically. And then click Add Products. Choose the products you want to include in the inventory and click Add. The selected products will now appear in the inventory list. Enter the required quantity for each product, and if needed, specify the batch number and expiry date. Once all details are entered, click Save. The manual inventory process is now complete, and the products are successfully added to the Nagercoil Central Depot. Now the products are available at both Marthendam and Nagercoil depots. We can select the order and confirm it. The order is now confirmed and cannot be modified. Finally, we can generate the invoice for this order. Since the invoice has been generated, you can now proceed to print it. We go to the invoice section, select the order, and print the invoice. Here we can see the two items along with the bank information and system configuration, such as account type and bank name. The QR code is also displayed. Currently, the company logo is not visible. To fix this, we update the logo in the system. After updating, we print the invoice again, and the logo now appears on the invoice, representing your company. The next step is truck loading. Before that, we update the logo back. For truck loading, select the logistics unit, the distributor, and the truck number. Add any remarks needed. Next, we select the products to load. Only the items with available stock are added. Then we enter the quantities for each product according to availability in the depot. Once the quantities are set, the items are added to the truck. The truck is now fully loaded and ready for the field visit. Next, we log into the field device with the user Arjun Menon at Starison.com. After login, location permission is requested. Once granted, the dashboard shows all relevant information, including sales revenue, sales volume, and other KPIs. Before starting work, we set the target for the user. This includes yearly and monthly sales revenue targets. These targets are displayed on the dashboard. To start the day, click the Start button. The system will ask for confirmation, and once confirmed, your location and attendance will be recorded. Once the user successfully logs in on the device, their activity can be tracked in Proxima Nexus through the map view, including their current location, device details, and other relevant information. The next step is to select the activity type for the day, either en route or off route. En route includes field visits and customer interactions. Off route includes office meetings, training sessions, or other non-field activities. Here I'm selecting off route activity to demonstrate an office activity. During this time, you can take notes by adding a title and description of the meeting. Once the activity is completed, click Stop, and then return to continue with the on-road activity. For route activity, the user can view assigned routes. In this case, only one route is available for Vehicle 3. The route name can be updated if needed. Next, the user selects the type of activity, van sales or piece sales, and enters the starting odometer reading. Helper information is optional. Once started, the user can see all items loaded into the truck from the Marthindam depot. The route begins, showing all customers assigned to that route, with full details of each customer. Customer visit status and other information are visible in real time. Next, we visit a customer. If the field executive's current location differs from the customer's actual location, a warning message will appear. Once confirmed, the system will proceed to the customer visit screen. A list of activities for this customer is available, and customer information can be edited if not locked. For this customer, the store survey is not applicable because it belongs to a general store group. We proceed to place a sales order. When the executive selects van sales from the beat route while taking an order, two options will appear: van sales and pre-sales. Either option can be chosen. In this demo, I'm selecting van sales. Once selected, the list of available products will be displayed. These products are based on the product group and account group configurations. In the product list, 3 types of indicators are shown. Red indicates must-have products, blue indicates focus SKUs, gray represents general products. If any schemes are associated with a product for the selected customer, a price tag icon will appear, along with the scheme description, as configured in the Proxima Nexus Scheme Configuration module. Various filters are also available to refine the product list. The executive can now enter the required quantities. The first field represents cases or boxes, and the second represents units. After entering the quantities, the cart summary can be reviewed. Once verified, proceed to the order summary. The order summary displays all applied schemes, discounts, and any free items applicable to the customer. The executive can review these details, add remarks if needed, and confirm the order. Once confirmed, the order is successfully placed. Since we selected van sales, the delivery of items can be completed immediately. Let's now proceed to the delivery process. In the delivery section, the first part displays the invoice summary, along with the transaction details. If this is the first delivery for the order, only a single transaction record will appear. However, if it's a partial delivery, you'll see the number of deliveries already completed for that order. Since this is the first delivery, the invoiced items are displayed in the product list, allowing the executive to review them. If there's any mismatch between the delivered items and the invoiced items, the system will prompt for a reason, which helps in maintaining proper tracking and audit history. Additionally, crate information is shown for each product when the quantity includes 1 or more cases or boxes. The system also displays details of any crates associated with the product, as configured in Proxima Nexus during product setup. Once everything is verified, add remarks if needed, and click Confirm Delivery. The delivery process is now successfully completed. At this point, the invoice can be printed immediately and handed over to the customer if required. For pre-sales orders, this delivery option becomes available after the order confirmation in Proxima Nexus. To collect a payment, select the invoices you want to collect and click Collect Payment. The system will display a payment summary, which includes details such as the wallet balance, selected invoice amount, and the total payment amount to be collected. Payments can be collected directly from the wallet balance if available. You can also use a partial amount from the wallet and collect the remaining balance through UPI, check, or cash. After entering the payment amounts, provide the transaction reference number if applicable, and upload an image of the payment proof. Once everything is filled in, click Confirm Payment. The system will then mark the selected invoices as paid. Now on the customer activity list, you can see that the completed activities are highlighted in green. Next, let's complete another pending activity, the stock count. In the stock count screen, you'll see a list of products. Enter the actual quantity available at the store, verify the information, and then confirm the stock count. Now, let's create a sample order. Click the sample order menu, and you'll see a list of products configured under the sample product group in Proxima Nexus. Enter the required quantity for each product, and then select the reason for taking the sample order. The list of available reasons will appear in a drop-down. These are configured in the Proxima Nexus lookup list. Once the appropriate reason is selected, review the cart summary if needed, and then proceed to place order. In the order summary, verify the details, and if required, enter the delivery note, dispatcher note, or remarks. These fields are optional. Finally, click Confirm Order. The sample order is now successfully placed. Now let's complete the crate collection process. From the Customer Activity Hub, select the Crate Collection menu. The system will display the list of pending items to be collected. Since we've already delivered an order, let's proceed to collect the crates for that order. After clicking the Collect button, you'll see a summary of crate collection transactions for this order. As this is the first collection, only one transaction is shown. If there had been any partial collections, the system would display both the completed transactions and the remaining crates to be collected. In the Collection Details section, you'll find the number of crates associated with the order. Enter the quantities for good crates, damaged crates, and missing crates. If there's any mismatch in the crate quantity, the system will prompt you to select a reason, useful for audit and tracking purposes. Once all quantities are entered, click Collect Crate. A summary of the collection details will be displayed. If there are any penalties applicable to the customer, for example due to damaged or missing crates, you can enter the amount here. The penalty will be automatically deducted from the customer's wallet balance. After verifying all information, click Confirm Collection. The crate collection process is now successfully completed. With this, we've completed most of the activities for this customer. Let's end the call and proceed to the next customer visit. Each call's start and end time, along with the location, will be automatically tracked by the system for monitoring and reporting purposes. Next, we visit another customer. First, we check which customers have a store survey assigned. For this user's route, customer 503844 is eligible. Opening the store survey, we see the configured survey data. Some surveys are locked for enterprise plans. For this customer, start by answering the questions under the Merchandising and Display section. Once completed, click Save Scene. Next, select the corresponding icon in the layout image and proceed to the product availability scene. Answer the related questions and click Save Scene once done. Then move to the next icon on the layout image and complete the store hygiene and visibility scene by answering all relevant questions, followed by Save Scene. Finally, select the Sales and Engagement icon in the layout and complete the questions for that scene. Once finished, click Save Scene again. After all scenes are completed, the Summary button will become active. Click Summary to view the overall score and the individual scene scores. This section also highlights areas of improvement for the store based on lower performing parameters. Once reviewed, click Submit Survey. The survey process is now successfully completed. Next, let's place a pre-sales order. From the order menu, select Presale. The process is similar to what we saw earlier for van sales. The list of available products will be displayed. Enter the required quantities for each product and click Place Order. Review the order summary, verify the details, and enter any relevant information such as notes or remarks if needed. Once everything looks good, click Confirm Order. The pre-sales order has now been successfully created. Let's create a new POSM order. The eligible POSM products are configured through the POSM campaign in Proxima Nexus. Click the New button at the bottom right corner to view the list of products associated with the campaign. Enter the required quantity for each POSM material, review the cart summary if needed, and then click Place Order. The order summary screen will display the order details. Verify the information, and if required, enter the delivery note, dispatcher note, and remarks. Once everything is confirmed, click Confirm Order. The POSM order is now successfully placed. Other activities include customer issue tickets and executive self-notes. Let's start by creating a customer issue ticket. Open the Customer Issues section and click Raise Issue. Select the issue category, set the priority, enter the title and description, and then click Submit Issue. The issue has now been raised. It can be viewed and resolved from Proxima Nexus, and once addressed, it can be closed from there as well. Next, let's look at Executive Self-Notes. Click Self-Notes, then Add Note, enter the title and description, and click Submit Note. These notes can be viewed by the executive during the next visit, serving as a reminder or discussion point with the customer. All details about the store profile, photos, order history, and invoice printing can be accessed as needed. Once all activities are complete, the visit for this customer is closed. Now let's visit another customer. Most of the activities we've already covered in the earlier demos, so this time we'll demonstrate the no-visit reason flow. For example, if the executive starts a visit but is unable to complete the store activity due to reasons such as outlet closed, local holiday, or vehicle breakdown, a no-visit reason can be selected. Here I'm selecting outlet closed as the reason and ending the call. The visit is now marked as completed, and the status is updated accordingly. In the route view, we can now see that out of all the planned customers, only a few have been visited. Roughly 20% of the route is completed. Finally, let's end the route. When the executive clicks End Route, the system will prompt for the end odometer reading. Once entered, the system processes the route closure. The route is now ended, though not fully completed. Now let's go to the history and see the orders he has taken. These are the orders under van sales. You can view each and print the invoice if required. Next, let's process the POS material approval. The first approval is pending from John Roy, so we'll log in as him. Before that, let's assign the module permission access for the report user role. We'll also enable transaction data access. Now John Roy can view and approve the POS materials. He reviews and approves both items successfully. Now these items move to the next level for approval. Let's log in as the entity admin and approve both POSM materials. Next, let's move to the POSM installation. The approved orders are listed, so we proceed to install them. Each installation requires capturing details like serial number, delivery date, location, technician name, mobile number, and photos. In this demo, I'm not capturing any photos, but you can take up to 5 before and after installation photos for each POS. Once done, repeat the same process for the next POSM item as well. We complete installations for both items, capturing all necessary data. Once installed, their status changes to Installed. You can now view installation details and track each item. Now let's start the POSM tracking process. From the POSM track menu, you'll see all installed POSM items associated with the selected customer. To update the condition of a POSM, click the tool icon. Indicate whether the item is working fine or if there's any issue. To track the serial number, click the QR code icon to open the barcode or QR code scanner. If there's any issue with scanning, you can also enter the serial number manually. Once the update is completed, the system will mark the item as tracked. Repeat this process for all POSM materials. After completing all items, the POSM tracking process is successfully finished. If there is any complaint regarding a POSM material, click on the POSM complaints menu. Fill in the relevant information, attach any supporting images as proof, and submit the complaint. The issue can then be reviewed and resolved in Proxima Nexus, and once addressed, it can be closed. Now, going back to order history, you can view all created orders and their status. From the activity section, you can see summary details. For example, visited, skipped, pending counts, and sales trends. The executive can perform the customer onboarding process by filling in all relevant information and attaching the necessary supporting documents. Once submitted, these details can be reviewed and approved in Proxima Nexus. After approval, the customer will be added to the active customer list. Keep in mind, after adding a new customer, the route plan should be recreated to reflect the update in the route list. Additionally, the executive can submit expense claims, leave requests, and view their attendance history within the system. Once all activities for the day are completed, the executive can click End Day in the My Activities section. This will mark the day as completed. Ensure that all active routes are ended before doing so. We've completed most of the tasks, so now let's review the backend data. After logging in, we can see there are 3 orders in total. The dashboard currently shows monthly data, comparing this month with the previous one. We can also see the total payment collected and details of open invoices along with the orders. Now we can also view the performance details of Arjun Menon and Priya Nair. Arjun Menon is currently on top, with data showing visits planned, visits completed, and the overall completion percentage. We can also see beat coverage, top selling products, achievements, outstanding payments, and pending order confirmations. 2 orders are still awaiting approval. Invoice details are available as well, showing which ones are paid. Next, the order status shows 2 new orders, 2 invoices edited, and 1 stock count completed. The Marthandam Depot displays the actual versus target performance, where the actual value is 978 compared to the set target. Next, let's look at the Field User Performance section. Here we can view data on both a monthly and daily basis. Currently, the report shows the actual distance traveled, which in this case is 0, along with metrics such as collection efficiency and other related performance data. Since this user hasn't been in the field, there's no movement recorded. However, we can still see indicators like sales revenue, which is 99% lower than the target, as well as details on volume, expenses, and planogram complaints. Moving to the field visit report, we can see that Arjun Menon followed a specific route with 20% visit completion. There were no on-time visits, 6 delayed visits, and the report includes details such as average visit duration, total travel time, idle time, odometer readings, vehicle number, order value, and amount collected. A map view also shows all visited locations. Since all activities took place around the same area, they appear close together. Under the activity summary, we can see orders taken, sample orders, cart counts, and crates collected. For instance, some were marked as outlet closed with no activity. Each customer entry also shows the respective visit status. The customer transactions section provides detailed insights per customer. For example, Family Mart 501439, we can view the full history, activities by Arjun Menon, order placement, delivery, invoice submission, and payment details, including amount collected, adjusted, and balance. We can also see records of POSM orders that were installed, along with credit collection details. There are no customer issues or planogram photos recorded for this one. For another customer, Quick Shop Mart, we can see all related activities. Order history, invoice submission, store survey, stock count, and POSM installation details. We can also track crate collections and customer issues raised, which are displayed in the customer issues log for easy reference. In the transactions section, you can see all raw transaction data. Customer-raised issues can be reviewed, addressed, and closed directly from this view. Once an issue is closed, it no longer appears in the open list, and the description, close date, and resolution details are available for reference. Next, in the report section, specifically under Executive Transactions, we can see all activities done by the user. Visit summary, customer onboarding, raised expenses with their status and attendance details, and operational summaries. In the operation summary, we get insights into targets versus sales achieved top executives and top customers, sales trends, contributions, and collections, credit control and outstanding payments, growth metrics, new customers, store surveys, customer issues, lowest selling products, stock quantities, and expense summaries. For the POSM orders, we can view complete order details and related transactions. Under customer stock, all stock counts taken for each customer are listed. Other sections like wallet transactions, leave management, and in-store POSM show their respective data. Additionally, we can view transaction data, store surveys, customer issues, notes, crate details, and payment collections. If any proof documents or photos are uploaded, they'll appear here as well. To explore more data, we can log in as another user. From this view, we can see active user logins with locations, reports on field performance, and visit reports. Detailed customer transactions, store surveys, stock counts, and POSM orders, installed, partially installed, or pending, payment collections, and customer issues. The executive transaction and operations summary can be viewed at multiple levels: organization-wide, depot level, or specific depots. We can also review order-related information such as delivery details, original, partial, or full delivery, returns and discrepancies, invoice details including the option to cancel invoices with mandatory cancellation reasons. Delivered orders cannot be canceled. Leave management shows all applied leaves, and the stock module displays available stock per truck. Finally, all these reports can be exported for external analysis. This concludes the complete setup and demo walkthrough. The next important step is to note that all configurations are initially done in the sandbox environment. Once setup and testing are complete, you'll need to move everything to production. When switching to production, the system will prompt for a password. After entering it, the setup moves to production. If you've created any test data, you can choose to clear only the transaction data while keeping the master configuration, or you can clear both master and transaction data before the migration. Once the environment is switched to production, the data can no longer be cleared, so this step should be done carefully. In this section, you can also view the subscription details. Based on the number of users created, the corresponding license keys will appear here. After confirming, click Proceed, and the system will redirect you to the payment gateway to complete the activation. That's all for this step. Your Proxima setup is now complete and ready for action. Go ahead, explore the platform, and experience seamless business automation. Thanks for your time, your patience, and for being part of this journey with us.